Right, and as soon as we're live now, and as soon as I see viewers coming on, then I'll start.
Okay.
So this is like the bonus footage. This is what you didn't get to see live.
This is the bonus footage. Matter of fact, it's so bonus that Julie's even on this footage. How do you like that?
I know, right? Exactly. Where's Chris? Okay.
Everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Oh my God.
All right, somebody's got to do the crappy elevator music.
Yeah, where's the Jeopardy music now?
Okay, so I have the link now, so just give me a moment to get it all posted to everybody, okay?
Chris, can you get your name tag back up?
Yep, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, sweetie. All right, I'm moving. I'm moving right now. Okay, I'm moving. I'm moving.
We can see
Okay.
that.
Now we're watching her. Put her on the big screen. At least we've got something to watch.
Oh my God, you guys are so
Like one of those
sassy.
Facebook posters, and now
Yeah,
I'm
right.
moving.
I'm moving. I'm being vanished. And it doesn't help. I don't know how to work this computer. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, it's not us.
This is the stuff that everybody would love to see, but it never has an opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Maybe they don't want to see behind the scenes.
This is that part where
I've always said that the
What goes on in the green
hour
room?
afterwards is even better than the show. So
There's clearing out.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, Jim.
what's that?
It's not
Oh,
updated.
it's not?
There. No.
Well, we got one viewer.
I have to delete the post, unfortunately. All right, so...
Hey, we apologize to anybody that's new that happens to tune in at this point in time.
Yep.
We are seriously having technical difficulties right now. I'm trying to work those out. So.
You know what? We kind of like broke Google Plus. So
Yeah.
Do everything.
You know, I don't remember Julie having this problem last week during the ladies' night.
whatever.
That comment's been made a few times already. That comment's been made. Okay.
Jamie, hey,
Where's
it's all
Jamie?
fairness, Jamie that started up the chat. So hey.
So it's not going to work, Brad?
No, so it's up now. So the link's up, so people hopefully will start seeing it soon. So hi everyone.
Wow. All over again.
We're live, so a few people have seen it. So I guess we can start talking.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, you got the right thing out. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I go now?
no, Julie, you're
Last time you left, it broke.
Yeah, you gotta stay. They broke the last
You're not allowed to leave.
She like logged us out.
Oh my God, where's Jamie?
Logged out, ran down the hall, and logged everybody out. So I just want to tell our viewers that right off the back, that it's Julie's fault.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Because I don't have Jamie with me.
That's right. All right, well, welcome to the next episode of Hunter's Hangout, and this is the third season, episode 8, I think.
You sure? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Say that with some conviction.
Yeah, it's episode 8, and let's just get.
You can have it like a sliding scale.
You don't trust me, so I'm gonna like throw it out there, and we got 3 prizes, not 1, not 2, but 3 prizes that we're giving away. Hot Topless Magazine is giving a year prescription away to any lucky viewer, and Froggy's Fog, a gallon of fog juice.
Hell yeah!
Any lucky winner, and last but not least, the Haunting Ground is giving away some haunt socks. Some haunt socks.
Courtesy of Diablo.
Hey,
The hot
Yeah, you want to? Matter of fact, show them up, Kristy.
Put them up. Let's see. There you go.
Ah.
Yeah, for any lucky winners. There you go. There you go.
And along with some haunt socks. Damn, that is hard. Once it's been said, it cannot be undone.
It's hot 6.
We've got a Haunting Ground
And a
T-shirt
Haunting Grounds T-shirt.
and
Some ornaments.
a whole set of ornaments.
And ornaments too.
I'm really not quite digging this whole theme of ornaments and socks, but I think we'll get away with it just because it's Kristy.
It's all going away with one lucky winner. And
Well, we got to overtake the other holidays now.
how we're gonna do the drawings is we're gonna touch Twitter, we're gonna touch the Facebook and YouTube, and they are gonna go and randomly pick from all 3 categories because we had a problem with that before, and now we're just gonna pick from all 3 categories, so you can go to all 3 places and have a chance to win.
Wow, thanks, Pat Sajak. That
You
sounded
see
really
that? I felt, dude, I felt like I was doing the ShamWow thing. I'm like, and it's
Oh, you've been working hard on that, haven't you? The whole haunt socks just threw
Right.
you for a loop
So we
earlier.
definitely want to get the show started, but we want to say a couple of things. We just came back from Trans World. What an amazing time we had, and we want to thank everybody that came through to meet us for the first time, and to meet,
Where are you going
not really to meet us, but to meet all of us, and the vendors were like totally awesome. They were very supportive of us, and it was just a great time, and we hope to see everybody at MHC and even have a more fun time. So I'm going to hand it over to Jim, and he's going to take care of business and do what we do.
I'm just kind of taken back, Jose. That was probably the most well put together.
It was very professional sounding.
I know. I don't know what quite to think.
It's quite honestly,
We had a lot of making up to do, considering we about 20 minutes late, just trying to figure out what was going on.
I'm in between my 3 or 4 drinks. You know what I'm saying? I got my lingo. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'm in a good mood, and like 3 or 4 more of these, and then forget it.
So we're in the eye of the storm, basically.
You're in the eye of the storm. We're in the middle right now.
Fair warning.
No,
It's the new cup.
As Jose said, we're riding the wave right now. We just came back from Trans World, had an absolute blast. When we are totally looking forward to MHC and hoping that everybody can join us there as well. As he said, we will have a booth at MHC, and we've got a lot of things to talk about. So please join us next Tuesday. That's right, next Tuesday. We've got a special Haunters Hangout Live. We will have Jen and Rich from Trans World, and they'll be here to talk about just MHC, answer your questions, what's there, what's not there, all that good stuff.
And more guests too.
And yes, we'll have even an extra special guest there to talk as well. So hopefully, if we can get
Can't let the cat out of the bag.
No, I'm not. If we can do well, hopefully we can get him back on just for his own episode.
And at MHC, that special announcement, Jim and Jose just announced that they'll be building props to give away in the raffle. So good luck with those, guys.
I noticed how you did not put your own name in that hat.
Yeah, did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. And for everybody watching, Brad is the one that instigated all of that. So Brad will be making his own special prize to give away. So, we are happy. We want to make sure that we give back to everybody else, and we all 3 will be throwing our names in the hat as far as prizes go. And
I'm gonna make it J-Wall Pumpkin.
You're gonna make, he's gonna make it, and I'm gonna do my first animatronic. So it'd be really interesting what you wind up with. But again, join us next Tuesday to talk about MHC, and we still will be on Thursday, and we've got some freaking awesome guests for Thursday as well. So next week's gonna be full. But regardless of that, we've also got awesome guests tonight. And yes, we are haunters, and proud of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Not a bunch of wannabes here.
Yeah.
So join us. Joining us tonight, besides, of course, I guess I should make introductions for anybody that's new. I am Jim, a.k.a. J-Wall, one of your hosts. Joining us as earlier, you heard from Jose, a.k.a. Diablo. And monitoring your chat with any questions that you may have is Brad Goodspeed.
Hi, he's so cute. Look at him.
I know. That's why we have him around, don't we?
We got a bunch of great guests on tonight, so bring me your questions. We gotta pick their brains. I'm watching Facebook, I'm watching Twitter, and I'm watching the YouTube comments section. So ask away.
What about MySpace?
No MySpace tonight.
But
we're always growing.
They still have MySpace? I don't know.
Do you have a window there for smoke signals?
Well, speaking of our guest, I think we ought to run through some introductions because we do have some awesome guests tonight. And he looks a little nervous tonight. You know, we talked about having 3 prizes, but, you know, our 4th prize is pretty special. Yeah, look around. I'm talking about you. Our 4th prize is we're giving away Chris Arnott's Haunter's Hangout virginity tonight. So.
Chris, we already have our first question.
Oh,
from,
yeah, let me guess.
Chris Ainsworth. Wondering why your name tag is not appearing at the bottom of the screen. I answered it for him.
I can't get the Hangout toolbox to open.
I just answered. It's just ghetto internet. So
yeah.
There we go.
It is.
Well, speaking of your ghetto internet, Chris, if you could introduce yourself and tell us where you're hailing from, and maybe that will answer all of our questions.
All right. So my name's Chris Arnott. I'm for 8 years up here in Barrie, Ontario, which is about an hour and a bit north of Toronto. And I own a home haunt called Dunnett's Dark Lair. Oh my God.
Awesome.
There we go. You came back. You went away on me. Can you see me?
Oh yeah, we can see you.
Hamster to go faster.
All I am is a screen grab, so I don't know what I'm doing or what I look like. I look terrible.
Oh, good. We're gonna have fun with you tonight.
I know.
Dude, you were way more
You're gonna put
talkative
up pictures
when
and
you
I'm
were
gonna
drunk when the last time I talked to you.
You look like you're in 2003.
Do I? I'm using a Windows 7 computer and I have high-speed internet. It's weird.
Are you
Anyways,
on AOL?
follow me on MySpace.
Regardless of your ghetto connection, we're happy to have you, and hopefully they'll get everything straight north of the border, and you can join us much better next time too.
Yes.
So
Right.
you can work on that.
Moving on.
Also joining us tonight, we have Cory. What's up, Cory? Can you introduce yourself?
What is up, guys?
What's happening?
I don't know. Did you want me to...
Oh, come on, Cory, you gotta do better.
Hey, Cory.
Say hello.
Hey, it's all you, buddy. Tell us where you're from, name your haunt, all that good stuff.
All right, so most of you guys know me as Columbia Manor Haunted House on YouTube. Also, the Toy Haunter. I got that silly little thing going still. So you can find that on Instagram as well. Own a home haunt, Columbia Manor. Also am the general manager for a Fear Overload out in the Bay Area of California. So, my first time doing that last year.
Oh, that's a haunter's dream right there, right there.
No kidding.
Congrats again on that, Cory.
Congrats.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. I'm sure we'll have plenty of questions for you as we come up, especially how that works out. So,
Awesome.
absolutely. Also joining us is Pat, and we love Pat.
It's Pat.
It's Pat. Hey, you know what, Pat? It's just Pat. They don't even say your last name. It's like, it's Pat.
It's Pat. No, I'm gonna let Pat. I'm gonna let Pat speak for himself. Well, Pat, if you can introduce yourself. Yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and name your haunt.
Okay, my name is Pat Molloy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's all you really need to know.
No, I'm from. My haunt is Dead Things Yard Haunt. I go by Dead Things on the forums. My haunt is the Hideous Horror on How, and I live in the city that rhymes with fun, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Oh yeah, the coldness. Bring the coldness.
No. My
Yeah,
goodness.
so glad to be on here. Love you guys too. Love you right back.
Go, baby.
Also joining us this evening, we have Jeff and Julie from Razzano's. Guys, if you could introduce yourself.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Oh shit! This could be some work tonight, brothers. This could be some work tonight. We're gonna have to step in a lot.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! Everybody's been silent as soon as the show went live again.
I think everyone's too polite. That's what it is.
Yes.
Is dial-up working?
Well, guys, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
On here.
We're from Watervliet, New York. We do Razzano's Fright for Hunger. Jeff is the big boss man. He's been doing it, what, 10 years? 12 years. I've only been, what, 5 years? 5 years with Razzano's Fright for Hunger.
Who does all the talking for Jeff?
Yeah, he just told me.
He's like, I ain't saying one word, dude. I'm just nodding. That's it.
I'm going to get a knife in a minute. I did the introduction last time. So now it's your turn.
Oh, now the truth.
Hey, let's start over and make Jeff do it. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do?
All right, I'm Jeff Razzano.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Did they totally lock up?
They're here. They're here. We got them back.
That was perfect timing, though.
That was awesome. It's like, as soon as you started talking, it froze up. It was like, no.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Jeff, you're off the hook for right now, but we're coming back after your ass later. You understand? Well, we also have another haunt couple on tonight. We've got SK and Kristy. Guys, how you doing? Please introduce yourself.
All right. I'm going to take this over here. I'm SK from the Haunting Grounds. This is the lovely Kristy Noble from Noble's Manor, now absorbed into the Haunting Grounds.
Oh, yeah.
That is not a sexual reference, I promise.
Just the socks. Just the socks.
Yeah, just the socks.
We are. This is the hot time. We have hot socks. We are also in upstate New York, just a stone's throw away from Jeff and Julie.
Yep.
In Scotia, New York. And I think between the two of us, we probably got like 40 some odd years of haunting, maybe longer. I've been doing it since I was 16, and
oh gosh, I've been doing this since 19. So yeah.
Yeah, so a
about
long
10
time.
years.
Lots of years. We're still working it. That's the great part.
And you guys win the prize for, of all the shows we've ever done, having the best Hunters Hangout background yet.
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
I got to give Cody props for helping with this. I think his eyes
Better than my
out of his
IKEA
head when I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, Cody, we're gonna put up the facade inside the house."
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you guys are like Texas. You guys suck ass. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about that.
I think Jose, that you have the close second for background there. That is quite attractive.
I got like one sign and it's dark.
Oh, and you know what? That's the only sign we need. That kicks that. Oh, and you know what? I do want to clarify. We did get permission to take that sign. We did not steal it for transfer. Or at least that's what Jose said.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I kind of told you that.
Fun fast.
But yeah, you were running out of the place when you got it.
You know what?
Hey, when you walked out and see the whole podium outside, that was a sure sign right there. Because I ran with it.
Same deal with that. Same deal with that Gore Galore prop that I snuck out under my sweater. I got our first question here. This is from Jay Olson. He wants to know, how is it that Ram was able to get a live feed from the Phobias bus tour, but Diablo can't get the show started on time?
What's that music?
For anyone who didn't see it, we were feeding live from the Phobias bus tour to a little Google Hangout that was happening here. It was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Right.
Lots of fun.
I have so much to say, but it's like on the live version. I just
He'll get back at you later with the answer for that, Jay.
I'll get back with you, Jay.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and. Wow, I did just say. I'll tell you what. Man.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we don't have any drinks here.
We all do have to drink. Everybody drink.
Right. I'll tell you what.
Well, don't worry about it. You're gonna hear A from me lots of times tonight.
Oh,
so,
cool. So we can
let's just get that out. Let's just get that out of the way right now.
Every time Jay Walt says, "I tell you what," you have to drink. And now every time Pat says A, you have to drink. So
we're gonna drink.
We're gonna be drunk before you know it.
Everyone's gonna be in the hospital tonight.
Well, I so want to get back to Chris just because, I'm sure he's a little nervous. He's in the hot seat because he's not been on before. So, Chris, I saw that look.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just straight up, why don't you just give us a little bit of history and background on your haunt and maybe talk about some of the favorite things that you've done and.
Okay. So I've been haunting for about 7 or 8 years or so, and to be perfectly honest with you, I never used to. We didn't really celebrate Halloween at our house because we were on a private driveway, and maybe had one trick or treater every year. I moved up to Barrie here, and we had neighbors that did stuff for Halloween. They put out a tombstone, used to scare kids, and I was like, wow, that looks like fun. I started it up, and we kind of collaborated for a bit. They moved away, and from there, it just grew and grew and grew like it does with everyone else. So.
Nice. Wait a minute. What looked like more fun, setting up the tombstones or scaring the little kids? Because
scaring the little kids, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that'll with the rest of us. Just if it wasn't for the scare, we wouldn't do it. I don't think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then. And from then, it just grew and grew and grew, and I'd buy more and put more stuff out and make a little bit more. And then my mother-in-law, who knew I was into Halloween, said, "You have to check out this TV show called Party Mamas." And on this Party Mama show was a haunter from down in Toronto that was doing up his driveway, and it was actually Chris Ainsworth. And Ainsworth, I was selling some of his props. I went down and bought one of his props, and then we became friends. And then he pulled me into.
You got to know him off Party Mamas?
Yeah, a TV.
Yeah. Yes.
Why is this the first I've ever heard
Party
of that?
Mamas?
You have to do
That
it.
so explains a lot right now.
I know. Wait a minute.
Party Mamas is a show. I think it's more tailored towards moms giving their 16-year-old kids, this lavish birthday party and what they run into. And I guess the producers had approached a friend of his and asked whether they could do a Halloween episode, and I guess he was the one that they came around to looking after. So they did a whole show on him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
So
I remember
how
seeing
much
it
are
a
you
couple
getting
times.
right now?
What's that?
You can't even repeat it.
I can't even hear you. I should take a picture. I'm a little screen grab. I don't even know what I look like, what you're putting up. I don't know nothing. I'm just going strictly on audio tonight.
Let's go through some pictures.
We will. Hey, well then you know what,
Yeah,
Chris?
that's
Make sure,
You can
Chris,
put a
we'll make
picture
sure to
in
kind
it.
of cue you in on the pictures that we do bring up. No pictures have been brought up so far. We've been
Right
so
now,
busy
pictures up right now.
party mamas. So
No party mama pictures, but there's some
Yeah.
pictures.
man,
Yeah.
that's a great pic. Too
That
bad you
is.
can't see it, Chris.
Yeah. What is it of? Scared to ask.
It's a picture of you.
Scared to
It's a
ask.
picture of you drunk and snoring in Trans World.
Oh, sweet. You've been talking.
No, it's a picture. It's the devil kind of coming out of the picture frame.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Scaring my daughter actually. Yeah, you posed for that picture. Yeah.
Hey, that's Haunt Parenting 101.
Yes. So I think that's a picture of my garage from this year. I actually made a drop panel for the first time, and I was making that kind of made me go back to the roots of why I
Uh-oh.
Oh,
He
started the
froze.
garage. It was fantastic. Yeah. Oh, now I can see the picture. There it is. Yeah.
Chris is so excited. He's like, "Oh my god, I didn't see the picture."
I can see the picture. You posted it, what, 5 minutes ago?
Got a question here for you, Chris, from a guy named Chris Ainsworth. Wants to know, he's thinking of doing a haunted hotel theme this Halloween.
Yeah. Are you thinking of doing one too? And Hector's thinking of doing one?
This is an inside joke at every Canadian Haunters Association pub night. We text Chris relentlessly and tell him we're going to copy his theme from this year.
Yeah. So I'm actually trying to interact with patients and do my job, and I get all these Facebook messages saying, "You're doing a haunted hotel. You're doing a haunted hotel. Tell me about it. I'm thinking of doing one too."
I think somebody was
Bunch of
watching. I
asshole
think somebody was
Canadians.
watching Goth Gloom's videos this
Yeah.
past.
Ah.
Okay, here's another picture.
Cool.
What is it? Oh yeah, that's the other side of my garage. So that is just a Victorian room that I made on one side with a couple props. Those walls I actually made myself. Made with the strictly out of wood and some obviously paint and wainscoting. And I actually distressed them. I took a class at MHC this past year with Vic Barito on how to distress walls and stuff. So I tried some of his tips and tricks, and I think they turned out pretty good.
No, it looks great. That's pretty cool to hear too. That kind of derived from taking a class. That's pretty awesome, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
You did a
here we
great
go.
job.
So, Chris, we just brought up a picture of one part of your front yard.
Okay. It should eventually come up. Come on.
Yeah.
So you have like the full yard. You do the full yard.
There we go.
Through, right?
Horse and wagon over there.
I actually do. That's where I started from. I started doing the front yard, and like it does with most haunters, it grew. The front yard got bigger and bigger and bigger. Then I went into the garage and had like an open concept garage. And the past 2 years has been the walkthrough part of my haunt. But this picture is the view from the street. With various things that I made, like the fencing, the columns, and that tombstone I think you see in the background. I made that myself.
Oh,
So
that's great, man. That's great.
Cool.
Is all that on you?
yeah, really nice.
oh, did I say tombstone? I meant coffin. The coffin I made.
Oh,
I wish I made a tombstone. No, I didn't. I bought them.
You seem so disappointed about that.
I know.
I bought 'em.
I
You know
wish
what,
I-
though, Chris?
I wish I had more time and artistic talent to make them myself. I'm slowly getting to that point. It is a very slow progression, but
You know, Chris, though, I do have to say, whether you bought them, made them, or anything, you obviously are the ones that put them out. But more importantly, look at your neighbor's yard.
yeah.
There ain't shit there, so who cares?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you can at least get them to buy something and stick it out, you know?
Well, ever since we've been here, as soon as Halloween comes around, they lock the doors, close up shop, and move.
No
out for the
way.
evening. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They have nothing to do. They want nothing to do with Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are they
I
good
guess I get
neighbors?
no
Your best
complaints from
friends
them.
up to that point, and then they just disappear, huh?
Yeah. They just lock up and take off.
But I guess they figured, what the hell? I don't have to do anything. Chris has got it all.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Chris,
here's the front facade of your house.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, the outside.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
With the sign up top of the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign up top. That like I don't know if it's been I've made it apparent, but I collect for a charity here in town, the Royal Victoria Hospital, and they were fortunate enough to set me up with a company here in town that does signage specifically for them, and that company was gracious enough to make that banner, and they made the rule sign this year for $20, I think, each. It was
Nice.
ridiculous, the amount of
very
markdown.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Now, Chris,
Yeah.
what's
And I'm
behind
sure,
the...
like, what's behind
Go ahead. I
the...
was just going to ask you what was behind the name. What with the name of the haunt?
Oh, Dunnett's Dark Lair. It's pretty simple. I live on Dunnett Drive in Barrie.
All right.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
Dude, I so
Yeah.
thought it was like that one
And my
movie,
home is a lair.
Stephen King movie with the Dunnett's. What was his name? I don't know. I'm not gonna go there.
I have a question for Chris. How much did you escape Transworld with? How much goodies did you bring home?
I'm not going to disclose that. I bought a couple little things, a couple lights and stuff. I bought a floor model from DC Props, and I got one on the way, and I bought a mask, and I only spent like $200, which is rare for me. Last year I spent a lot more. How about you, Brad?
I didn't buy anything. I bought 2 Hunters Hangout shirts.
Get out of here.
He did, yes.
And
The thing is, Brad, the funny thing is, I've never seen anybody show up with such a small piece of luggage for a weekend. And I'm looking at that luggage going, something isn't quite right here. And then, of course, he's like, oh, I had 2 shirts waiting here for me for Hunter's Hangout. And then he's like, I got to figure out how I'm even going to get those back in that luggage now. I was waiting for him to wear like 3 or 4 shirts onto the plane just to get home. So, Brad, one hit. Okay, I'm going to give you one tip, and this is for anybody that's watching as well that has to fly into Transworld or MHC or anywhere. I understand trying to come here with just a carry-on because you want to make sure things get here. But please put that carry-on inside another piece of luggage so that you can return with at least 2 pieces of luggage. So you got one for your clothes and another one for props and to buy stuff. So
You totally misunderstand the reason why I brought a tiny piece of luggage. I did it for that reason, so I would not buy anything. That's why.
Dude. I walked out of there with 6 masks and man, I don't even know, ungodly. I don't know.
all I know is when I got home.
It's just gonna come in the mail.
Yes. I pulled out. I was going through all my stuff.
She's gonna know, but I didn't want her to fuck like my Transworld experience up.
It was much easier to come back with just a handful of things, and then another handful of nothing but receipts of things that are supposed to be delivered throughout the year.
Right. That's the delivery thing.
I figured if it was spread out throughout the year, it won't look near as bad.
I'll put up with the yelling after Transworld, not
Yes.
at Transworld. So
Yeah.
okay,
I don't remember having that many
on.
receipts until I got home. Well, hey, Chris, we'll jump back to you. We're going to go ahead and sit down some of the panel and talk to them. Cory?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, you had a pretty exciting year last year. If you'd like to tell everybody about what took place last year compared to what you've done in previous years.
We're
You
all
mentioned a little bit earlier.
We're all jealous.
Well, so it was pretty cool. I've had Columbia Manor for 6 years, and I was at the mall one day, and I saw some guys kind of loading in what looked like, some props and stuff, and recognized the owner of and I remembered that there was a haunt at this mall, and it was like year 5, And so bumped into him. I said, "Hey, is that for the haunted house?" He's like, "Yeah, that's whatever." And I mentioned my name, and he recognized it. He had heard it from YouTube and everything, and so we started talking. We stayed in touch for a couple months, and then they hired me on as the general manager. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's called Fear Overload.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's out here in the Bay Area, and what happened was the owners, they were expanding to Sacramento, and they needed somebody to run their haunt down here in the Bay Area, and so they hired me on, and rest is history, man. We had some auditions. I hired 19 actors, and we had a 16,000 person showing, so it was pretty cool.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, so 16,000 came through the haunt, and we were opened, all of October and a few days in November, and it was exciting. It was a lot of work, though. A lot of work.
I imagine quite a bit of insight in comparison to what you do at home.
I did. I learned a lot. The set designers they have are all Hollywood quality. The costumes, the makeup artists were phenomenal. They did some great stuff on all my actors, and we had a really good little vibe going with the little haunt squad we had. So it was nice, and we still stay in touch. We did a Christmas haunt, and we did a Valentine's Day haunt because it it flowed with Friday the 13th. So those two actually went really well, and just trying to keep it going throughout the year.
All right, let's go through some pictures.
Awesome. What is that? That's the radioactive barrels. Pretty cool. Just some LED lights in there. Those are, hotel barrels that, they throw the grease out in and stuff, the 50-gallon drum or whatever. And, they're just pretty cool. You got some great stuff there with LED lights, and that's Brooklyn hanging out on the side of it. Those are at my home haunt. Those are pretty cool. I chose the green. All the viewers chose the green because I did a vlog where I said, hey, put in your votes. What color do you guys like? And everybody chose the green light, so it worked out good.
It was a nice score.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I put foggers in there too, so you can see on those small ones, you got the top open and the fog would come out of that. So it was pretty cool. Very cool little
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so atmosphere effects. This is something I did in 2012, 2013 maybe. And this was, it's their, what is it? I forget what the unliving portraits, I think it was.
I use those too. They're great.
Yeah, so I got this weird email from Atmosphere Effects saying, oh, enter your stuff that you do with Atmosphere Effects, and so I entered it, my vlog that I did, the how-to for this little piece, and about 2 months later I got an email back saying that I was in the top 5 in the nation, and I didn't win, but I was in the top 5 for what we do. And what I did with that, and I ended up winning like 2 free videos they sent me for being in the top 5. So.
That's very cool.
Good for you. Good for you.
And then, of course, at Trans World last year, if you go back and look at their video on YouTube, they used that exact set for their Atmosphere Effects video for that. So it was like, oh, that looks familiar.
There you go.
They didn't give me any credit.
Represent. Hey, you just got credit right now, buddy.
Yep.
I know, right? Man, I didn't copyright it.
Too bad. You could have done it.
No. Yeah. So what do we got? Oh, this is just one of my characters. All my actors are local high school students, my son's friends and kids I coach in baseball, and they wanted to do a clown theme, so I did The Devil's Carnival. It's a really shitty movie that's on Netflix. Don't watch it. But the music and the sets were great. And the theme was cool. So I chose The Devil's Carnival as a theme because, there's so many carnivals out there, and so I wanted something a little different. And so, of course, I had to have a gorilla running around, and so that's my gorilla going in the fog. And he was great because he's like 6'3", so he scared the shit out of people when he stood up. So it was pretty cool. Great little picture. Yep. Yeah, don't watch that movie, though. It's awful. Really bad.
But made for a great haunt theme, right?
It did. Everything looked good. My logos looked good for it. It was really cool. So this is just pictures of the exterior of my house from a couple different years. I use projection to my windows. I use gobos around. I use a lot of blue party bulbs just to give really cool blacklight effects. They work great, and they look great on film. They look great in pictures. And they just give a nice glow to the different fog and stuff. So LEDs around the house.
Columbia Manor logo. I mean, they have
So that's so that
nice.
so
That's really
so
nice.
I work in audiovisual. I work out of hotels. Speaking of hotels, I actually work at a haunted one. I'll tell you guys about that later. But yeah, so that's a glass gobo. Costed like $300 to get made, but it's well worth it. And if you have the stage lighting, then it gives you great effect. That's from internetapollo.com. And you could go there. You can get custom gobos made, laser cut. You can get them just metal, which will be about $50. And if you want a high quality glass one, that one was like $300. So yeah, I just sent them the lettering, and they put it all up there, so you don't have to worry about gels. You don't have to worry about anything else. You just put it in a gobo holder, throw it in a Lico light, stage light, and bam, you got a nice little logo effect.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it. It was like pretty crisp.
It is perfect. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it like inexpensively too, if you got a good projector and you could hide it, you can do it with a projector as well. Just got to make sure it's bright enough. But
now, does the when they do that with the laser etching, is the color, because obviously the C and the blood at the bottom and stuff and the M are all red? Is that built into the glass then? Is the glass colored that way?
Yeah, it is. It's exactly whatever you send in on your artwork, they do it exactly how it is. So the red with the blood, just like my logo. Actually, Jose, I think, has my shirt on, so it's exactly that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it looks great. And that's just some of the line. I had a line. Yeah, there you go. That's a sexy shirt.
Yeah.
That is a sexy shirt.
Sexy.
This is a sexy show.
That's true. Well, it's got a lot of hot sex, right?
Yeah.
Hot. All right. Well, we'll come back to you and do some more. We're gonna move on, and Jim's like, hello.
I'm leaving him hanging. He was waiting to see if he can go anywhere.
I'll do it if you want. I'm feeling good tonight. I'll move on. You know how this shit turns out.
Sexy hot sex, Jose.
Yeah.
Well, quickly before we move on, just one last question for Cory from Kristy and Steffens. Where can we find the Columbia Manor Haunted vlog?
Columbia Manor Haunted House on YouTube. Just go search Columbia Manor. I should be the only one that comes up, and then you can go and subscribe there. I usually put up a vlog every week or so. It just depends. When I'm building and stuff. It's been crazy with me at work. They've been moving me around with hotels and stuff, so I haven't had as much time to play with all my stuff as I want to. But yeah, I started vlogging 5 years ago, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I love doing it. I love meeting all the people and just being out there on the internet. It's fun.
Right.
I think, Cory, you bring up an interesting point, and there's a couple other people here too. That are on our panel. A lot of people don't there's still a lot of people don't even realize there's a live show with the whole Facebook thing. So it's kind of funny, seems like between shows we're constantly getting new people watching or people asking or they'll make comments like, oh my God, I can't believe had no idea there was something else. But even before the show, everybody here got to know each other just through YouTube. And, if it wasn't for Cory and if it wasn't for Pat and it wasn't for SK and Kristy, I would have never met you guys and we would have never had this show. So I can't thank you all enough.
Right.
And people ask a lot of questions about how to do things or who's what or what's this. And, man, there is just such a massive amount of information from YouTube, especially from past years. I mean, you could go and brain overload with the amount of information that's still available out there from these guys right here.
The thing is, like, all the haunters that are on the show, and if you ever want to know, about them, where their YouTube, where your Facebook, all of that information is in the descriptions in the intro when it first comes out, and I will probably start putting them in this video too. The next day, and I'll put all their links in there. But if you want to know anybody on the panel here, all their sites and everything that they provided to us are on the intro, so you can go back and look at that. Plus, I'm going to start putting them on on the actual feed too, so people can look at that in case they don't. So.
I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of surreal for me because, there was for the longest time, I just sat there and followed all of these guys and watched them. And then, and now over the last couple of years of doing this and, and having an opportunity to actually meet everybody and talk to them and ask questions of them, I mean, it's pretty fantastic. So, again, there's just a wealth of information that I think a lot of people haven't even captured yet. That's still out there, and even what we're continuing to do each week. So,
and nobody does a better parody than Pat.
Oh, no. Pat, if you're gonna do anything, if you need some comic relief, you gotta go to Pat.
Nice transition. Nice segue.
You have to go look at Pat's YouTube channel. And it's priceless. Maybe with the accent actually mimic anybody he wants is amazing to me.
Pat
takes those hard words like marmalade.
Marmalade.
Gymnasium.
Pat all around is amazing anyway. He's the smooth talker, the haunt rocker, the pyrotechnic. I mean, you name it.
Thanks, you'll get your $5 later.
What's that?
Thanks, you'll get your $5 later.
Yeah, see, all the Facebookers miss like a very precious time in YouTube history.
But
it was an interesting time, no doubt.
Yes, it was, and it still can be. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But Pat is an icon amongst the YouTubers. That's for sure. But Pat is pretty infamous about each year there was always at least one particular prop that would just be,
frozen,
over the top, a little complicated, and we'd all go along for the ride to watch how is this really going to happen when Pat's done. and it never failed. He always pulled it off, and we love you for that. So absolutely.
Thank you very much.
But you know what? You tell us about all that. You tell us from your perspective.
And there's no snow on it. What's up with that?
Yeah. First off, I only do this for the tax credit. That's the first thing. That's the only thing. That and the OCD. So those two things are pretty well what drive this all. So I don't know. I started haunting probably about 10 years ago, and most of the time my haunt looked like a Walmart threw up on my yard, and it was kind of when I got more and more involved within the forums, like Haunt Forum especially, and Garage of Evil, that I began to kind of realize that if I wanted to do something different, I had to develop a backstory, and that's kind of where everything has gone from there. And it actually started, I was looking for something to carve on a tombstone, and I saw this thing that said, here lies Dr. Chard, who filled half of this graveyard. And so it just kind of all started from there. I always had the witches. I'm all about my witches.
We love your witches.
Yeah, thank you. And so it just began to just kind of develop from there, and just really out and out stealing ideas from other haunters. Bach always said, "No great composers borrow, they steal." So I'm certainly not a great composer, but I'll steal whatever I can from somebody else. So.
You know what though? You're giving yourself way too much credit, because whether you started off just stealing ideas and developing. You, in turn, became the person that people were trying to steal ideas from, because no. I would say you're not going to get off that easy by giving yourself, no.
What? Well, enough about me. Why don't you talk about me for a while? But no, I mean, that's always been something I wanted to do. You know, I learned so much from people on the web, and people have been, haunters are so generous, and you know, I just want to pay it all forward, right? I just want to make sure that, you know, what I learned, I don't hold on. I want to give it back. I want other people to take that and run with that as well. You know, and develop their own ideas. You know, and it takes time, right? You develop over time, and things go from there. But
yeah, it's always nice when someone takes your prop and then puts their little twist to it, and then it makes it something totally different. And but you still get that respect that they got it from you.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You know, to see that happen, and it was like literally this thing. I got it right here. This, which was my best prop from the Canadian Haunters. That was for that spider prop, man. That was when I got that, man. That made my day. That really
look
did.
at Brad. He's looking like that shit should have been mine. Look at it.
I was a judge. I was a judge. And
I know, but she was like, I shouldn't have been the judge. That bitch would have been leader. I voted. Look at his eye.
I voted
well deserved, Pat.
Pat's the best.
Thank you.
I have a question for Pat. I have a question for Pat from Mike Lindorf. What type of over-the-top prop do you plan on building this year?
I don't know. I mean, I'm really trying to get everything like synced in with each other. I like this idea of a show. And right now I've got kind of four separate operating systems, and I'd like to be able to integrate them. So, you know, the witches do their thing, and then when they're done, something else happens, and then when that's done, something else happens, and then it just kind of goes back to the beginning and does that. So that's one of the big things. But as far as props, I saw this darn thing, and I want to kind of do something with that. I don't know what yet, but it struck me, and I've just been having it on my phone, so I'm just trying to gain inspiration on what I'm.
I don't know. It's the silhouette of Elvira is all I can figure.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys
yes.
I
That's
can't.
a very cool pic.
Yeah, that thing is cool. I've seen that on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I might see if I can do something with that. I'm not sure what yet, but
Cool.
yeah.
I think you haven't found one to steal yet.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't found something to steal yet.
Well, you know, the Hunters Life ain't putting that out in a minute, so that's why. So
Well,
hey,
I just hope you take us along for the ride when you do.
And we'll come back to you.
I will try and do that, yes.
Yes, please do. Well,
For sure.
that would leave us to the other haunt couple,
That's right.
Jeff and Julie. Yes, we're talking to you folks.
Okay.
I don't even know where you're looking the other way. You're like, hello?
This time we're going to see how much we can get Jeff to talk.
Yeah.
I know, he breaks the internet every time he starts.
I know.
You're like Kim Kardashian's butt. Just came to mind. Just came to mind.
All right.
Well, Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit maybe about what you've got in store coming up for this year? I know you guys build like crazy, so you can tell us, maybe give us a little history and tell us about what we're going to see to come.
Yeah, we every year, of course, we have to switch it up because it seems to keep everybody more awake and wanting to come in and check us out or what's new every year. It's always something new. We're definitely going to do it over the top again this year. Last year we did more like a wine or a mine cave theme, and it was a big success. I think this year we're going to go more like medieval. We're going to go big with medieval. We're going to work with dragons. We're going to work with Dracula. We're going to work with all of that into one.
Right on.
So,
Holy cow.
Yeah, That's excellent.
That's
That's
gonna
my
be
favorite. I love that stuff.
Hey, why don't you explain to us what you guys are doing here?
That's
Wow.
the front facade
Yeah.
from last year. That was after Halloween night. We were all exhausted, but somebody went out and took a picture. It came out kind of cool. Had that kind of ambient.
Yeah. That was the. That was
Is that
the-
like your man? That's your whole house. That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's the whole western front. We did like we did a ticket booth style, like that. Just the ticket booth that's in front kind of doesn't like go together, but we kind of put that there because we usually collect canned goods. So they collect the canned goods just about left. There's like a trailer to the left of that, just behind that ticket booth.
You see it.
And they take the cans and the non-perishable items and they put that in there. They get a ticket and they walk all the way down the block and then come back. So we kind of corral everybody into a small space, but we do get a lot of people through. I think it was almost 1,000 last year. I think.
Wow.
Holy crow.
Yeah,
1,000. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, we got them
My
through.
neighbors would burn down my house.
Like 700 on Halloween or 750, something like that. And
Whoa.
we're only open like 6:30 to 9:30 because they have a curfew on Halloween here. So any other night you can do it. You know, if you're open 3 nights or 4 nights, you can do it till later on. But Halloween is a 9:30 curfew. So
How do you deal with traffic with that many people?
yeah, it's hard.
It's funny you
Really
say that
hard.
because we did send in a request to the police department and the mayor and all of that to try to shut the streets down. And they said, well, geez, we can't just shut a main street.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, never mind. So I chuckled because I'm thinking to myself,
They're
that
gonna have
amount of
to shut it
people
down.
are going to shut it down, and we're not going to.
Yeah, they're going to shut it down anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut it down basically. So
Yeah.
the people were just all in the streets, and the cars were stopping, and the police were just they were really supportive. They definitely the one year they ended up helping us out. They had assigned 5 police officers just to help with crowd control, and everything went without a hitch. So
Nice.
yeah, it was nice.
That
So-
is nice.
Yeah, once we got into the gates, though, I mean, then we went into the we came from Western in the front, and then when we walked through the gates there, then it was all cave, and then from the cave it went to it kind of broke up. We kind of had a couple different themes going on in there, but it's everything that people are afraid of. I mean, just
So you guys had like a little candy thing going on.
yeah. Now we fuel these candy corn brittle. We made all those candies all. I don't know, it took her forever, I think, to make those guys.
Got a question from Lori Umdenstock for you guys. Jeff and Julie, how much area does your haunt cover?
We were just talking about that. It's
With the garage, I think it's like 1,500.
1,500 square feet.
Wow.
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 And we made it, so it seems a little longer. Yeah.
If you saw our yard, like if you went on Google and looked at our yard, it's like nothing. But once you get in there and you maze it and the way we set it up, it seems like it goes on forever. Would it take like 7 minutes or something?
7 minutes to get through. 7 minutes.
7 minutes to get through, and you put 1,000 people through.
Yeah.
Like they must have just been going right one after another.
One after another.
There's, I try to think of something that doesn't make them run.
They always want to know.
I think we perfected it because I mean, really, like, yeah, they're running through the
Yeah.
haunt.
It's hard.
All right, what are we looking at right here? What's the
That's the main.
black
Yeah.
black and light? What is that?
That's we found that we're like bad freegans. So if our town has what they call, what is it, bulk cleanup or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So we go out all week long and just get everybody's crap that they don't want.
It's
And
like
that-
dumpster diving, basically.
Yeah.
Just,
But it's
you don't-
out on
yeah,
the lawn,
yeah.
you know.
You're just shopping at Kirby's.
Oh yeah, we're bad. Yeah, we take the whole week off and we just go out and get all kinds of crap that would work for
For the haunt.
the haunt.
Right.
And we make
Yeah,
stuff.
that's all
We make
free.
most of our
That's
own
awesome.
props anyway. But that is a room divider that we got out of a church, and it's like this heavy-duty vinyl, and it's just really bumpy on one side.
Yeah.
And we were trying to do it with tar paper and stuff and different things, and it's outside, so any kind of moisture that got to it, it would just
Destroy.
wilt and just
Yeah.
it looked awful. So
Yeah.
I just started tacking that up to the pallets because our whole maze is pallets, and I'd
Shell.
screw it in, push it up and screw it in, and then I went through with spray paint, and just anything that looked like it was bumped up or wrinkled, I just spray painted that area, so it gave it kind of some depth to it. But that's the only way I could, figure out. There's some chicken wire back there to bulge it out a little more, but other than that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a replica. And to the right of that, you'll see like a mine shaft where there's a cart with coal, and then you'll see some gold, and you'll see the explosives, the detonator. And then we had the dynamite. We made the dynamite out of dolls, wooden dolls, and then we had the dynamite papers we put on them, said dynamite on them. So we kind of gave it that theme. And as you go through it, it's like I say, we actually build all kinds of walls. We do all kinds of shell work. We also did ceiling joists. We built it up pretty good. The whole outside is basically we actually built framework. I mean, we framed it completely, all inside. That whole thing is just all framed out. Wood. It's got the pneumatics. All the air compressors are all running throughout the top of that joist. I wish we had pictures on that, but I don't think we did have pictures on that. But all the pneumatics would jump out, and yeah, we had a lot of
You always
fun.
get pictures. You should always get pictures.
Oh, it's so damn hard to get pictures. That's the thing. You're
Pictures.
just in this want overload for when you're building these things, right?
That's right. Hey, you gotta get with the program, man. Right, we're gonna move on to Kristy and the SK and come back to everybody else and let her rip. What you got? What you doing? What's happening?
You go.
Hi.
Hello.
That's it. That's all she's got.
Okay, moving on.
So,
Yeah, don't give us that. This is the first year I think that you guys have finally gotten into a comfort level and really started building. I know there was a lot of, moving. There was a, kind of almost like a let's regroup year, and then you all came on the attack this past Halloween.
Yeah.
You guys
Last
did
year-
awesome.
Last
Awesome
year
work.
we actually we had to hold back quite a bit last year. There was a lot of stuff that never even got pulled out of totes or unpacked from boxes down in the basement. That we just had so much stuff, and because of the time off that I had to take for to help her move, and the time that she came up to visit in January, and Midwest, I had only maybe a week for Halloween. I usually take about 3 weeks off for our hunt. I'm lucky in it. We don't have a whole lot of room. Our front yard is tiny. We've got a good-sized driveway, so we can expand into that. But we put up this. We did all the work on this facade this year, and
mostly him and Cody. I just started a new job,
she
so
supervised.
I bought the supplies. Yeah. I started a new job after the big move, so that killed a lot of my previous oodles of vacation time that I used to have. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we blocked off most of the back end of the driveway, but this year I think we're going to try to, I don't know if anybody's seen the video, we had this up as a screen for our projector this past year.
Right.
And that worked great, and it was really well received by the visitors. But I think we're going to try and open it up, because we actually had people who wanted to go through there and see what was beyond.
Well, when you were building that, when you were
weird.
building that, I assumed that's what was going to eventually happen, is that you would just go through. That was basically your gateway, and to go through. And then when I saw the video and realized, oh shit, they used that as projection, which was an awesome use of that space. But yeah, you totally got to just break through and go all the way up the driveway.
Yeah, I mean, the area that we blocked off is big enough to fit 6 cars in. So, I mean, I've got plenty of room back there to play with. It's just, I mean, it's all about funding the build of panels to make walls out of and stuff like that. Yeah, there you go. You can see how much room I've got back there.
And it's interesting looking at the whole progress, because he had a drawing that he had done, and it's spot on to the drawing that he did.
Can't deviate from the plan. You can't deviate from the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes me sick.
I got a question. I got a question for SK from Trish Redding. When did you build your first groundbreaker, and who inspired you?
Oh, my first groundbreaker I actually still have. It's the only one I have right now, except for the one that hasn't been finished for the past 3 years. I will get it finished.
I know which one that is.
Yeah, me too.
No, it's not her. It's not her.
There's a reason why he hasn't finished it.
Yeah, because I have another question from Jay Olson, which is, did the big boobs prop ever get finished?
I watched that.
He likes to just add the layers slowly and just keep adding layers. Oh, we got another layer to add.
And he kept judging. The breasts must be perfect. They must be perfect. There's no room for error there.
He just kept getting bigger every chat.
Yeah.
And did I hear anybody complain about it?
Yeah, no, Jose was over there drooling.
Those look really good.
Yeah, we're like trying to talk to somebody, and we're like, "So Jay, how you doing?" And we're like, "What was you saying? I don't remember. You know, just SK rubbing on that prop is distracting me."
Hey, you know what? Just remember, Brad may have instigated, and by asking that question, but just look over his own shoulder. He has nothing to think about.
That's for the after show. That's for the after show party.
But no, the Corpse Bride has not been finished yet. I actually haven't really done a whole lot of work on that one since I started it. I kind of put that one on hold because I do want to get my groundbreakers done.
Since Kristy moved in, tell the truth.
Get back to.
No, actually, it was from before that.
Yeah, that's way before that.
Yeah.
But getting back to Trish's question, my first groundbreaker was inspired by it was Spooky Blue. I think it was spookyblue.com, and that was an old website that first got me back into haunting, several years ago. And then since that, my newer groundbreakers are inspired by John Wolfe, who sadly passed away a few years ago. But yeah, he was a good friend of mine, and I talked a lot with him. He inspired me a lot to switch over the way I'm making them now.
His work was absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely
phenomenal. You could tell he labored over each strand, and each piece of paper that he laid was perfectly laid in exactly the right spot for it. Yeah, brilliant.
He put a lot of love into his work, and we lost a great haunter when he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, well, we got a good tutor. I mean, a good student out of that, because if you look at this, it's like, wow,
that is beautiful.
That has to be the best use of skulls that I've seen in a very long time.
Right.
Those, by the way, people are gonna ask, because I get it all the time. Those are Party City skulls.
Nice.
Beauty.
Question for SK from Jack Mac. Are you still sculpting masks? And I saw the work you were doing. That was some pretty awesome stuff.
Oh, that was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even really know. That was amazing what you were doing.
I plan to. However, I've been this month has been a terrible month. Some of you know, some of you don't. My uncle passed away earlier this month. And my father's been in the hospital in ICU now, the second half of the month. So I've been haunt-related stuff has been zero on the mind. So I will get back into it. Yes.
I'll be sure to.
But if anybody that knows SK, he takes a lot of time on his props. He's like ridiculous. It's a long time, man. It's like we could go through like 9 chats, and we only have one a week, and he'll be on that same prop, but it'll be beautiful when it's done. It's just like he takes a long. He's pretty particular.
I remember from the Tombstone show. It's like.
Yeah.
When Heather Techniques and SK uses an X-Acto knife, right? Like to get in there. And
there you go.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah. That's hardcore in the detail.
Yep, and I carved the epitaph across the top of the facade with an X-Acto knife.
Good for
No
you.
better way.
Yeah.
No better
Awesome.
way.
Lots of comments talking about how talented you guys are and how much people like your haunt.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's Cody, by
There's-
the way.
And
That's
There's
Cody's
some
work.
great picks.
the one thing I want to say, how many views do you have on YouTube of the which year was it? 2000 and
2009.
yeah. How many views do you have on that one?
What is it? Like 800,000?
Wow.
Good
Wow.
Lord.
No, it can't be that high. It can't be that high. It can't. I can't look it up right now, but it's up there. It's got to be at least
Yeah.
500,000.
Yes, it is.
Dude, did you hashtag Mariah Carey or something?
No, you know what it was?
But
Yeah, Kim Kardashian's butt.
A really lucky icon picture for it. Is they happened to come up on that one groundbreaker, the picture of it looking down at the groundbreaker that had the exposed ribs on the side,
yes.
and yeah, it was just I got lucky with the screenshot from it because I wasn't at that point. I was not the what the hell is it called there where you're all of a sudden what's that?
Partner?
Yeah, YouTube partner. Once you hit partner, then you can pick your screenshot for the video. But that was before that, and I just happened to get a really good one.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
That is
very
There
cool.
it is, lighted
Beautiful
up.
picture.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Look at
Wow.
that. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Dude, that's amazing.
That is beautiful.
It is.
Just leave that up there for a little while. I wanna. That is awesome.
Background. Let me move forward.
We're all
It is
basking in the
beautiful.
glory.
I'll put it up as my background screen on my computer.
we're considering expanding this both out and up.
Wow, you could certainly do that. I mean, yeah, you could just keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, it's completely
Davises
expandable.
have inspired us.
And once again, you know, I know we keep mentioning the videos, but you've got to go. SK and Kristy just put up the video of this haunt maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks. It hasn't been that long ago that they put it up, and to really get a good feel of what they did, especially with the projection in the middle of this opening. I mean, it just blew me away. I had no idea that you were doing the projection in the middle, and once I saw that, I'm like, holy shit. Because I thought it was just going on. I didn't realize it was just, you know, this year it was just the facade, but the projection just hit. It was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Very
And
nice.
funny thing, I was wearing this on Halloween night, too.
That looks great.
The plan is that we want to expand this inward. I don't know if it's going to happen this year or not, just because I've kind of got another big project in mind.
Well, do tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, you do?
Yeah, you can't say that shit and then just kind of
Yeah.
follow up.
Hey, we're not live right now. Just pretend we're not live.
Are you like talking about like reanimating a dead dog or like a haunt related project? Or?
How did you know? Actually, somebody might recognize, but this was inspired by a piece that we saw over at what's the name of it? Scare Factory.
Right, at Midwest.
Oh, now I remember.
Yeah, the Scare Factory had a nice little mausoleum thing that they had up, and I was like, I like that. I'm going to do something like that. So that's where this came from. They also had, right next to it, they had this thing that they called a necromancer, which is like a 20-foot tall skeleton.
That thing's crazy.
It was nuts.
It is. And we've already started cutting the frame out downstairs.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Awesome.
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
going to go 20 feet.
now we're talking.
I'm not going 20 feet. I think we're gonna cap it off at probably around 12 feet.
Yeah.
What kind of boobs are you gonna put on that thing?
I'm thinking that I want to go double M.
Remember the boobs that he wore at Midwest last year? About that.
Doubling it. He's doubling the boobs.
Double it.
Yep.
Double it
Yeah.
down.
There was just something completely wrong with meeting SK and running up to giving him a hug while he's in costume with very nice knockers.
Oh, it was even more fun watching people play football with them.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move back over to Chris and.
Are we really? We need to give Chris more time.
We gotta finish up. Hey, if I don't finish up the pictures, you know I got the girls that'll be on me. You know that.
All right, Chris.
I know.
All right, Chris, your first round's done, so you're no longer a Hunter's Hangout virgin, so it's time for
Okay.
Okay, hey, let's talk about this here. This is nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
You gotta give it about 2 minutes for it to load.
Okay. All right, everybody take a drink. And we'll wait.
These are two skeletons. Two skeletons sitting at a table, Chris.
What am I looking at? Oh, okay.
Two skeletons.
That's the first room of my garage.
I like it.
I love that background. I love the background.
Is that are those thermoform panels?
They're vacuum panels, yeah.
Nice.
Vacuum panels that I got about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, from Night Scream Studios down in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Colin McLaughlin and I went halvesies on pickup, and we both got some loot from there. So those are keepers. I don't want to give those up.
Right. Hey, how much were they? Just for like people that want to know.
Yeah.
That's something Chris doesn't discuss, I don't think, right? Prices?
I don't discuss what?
Prices? They're asking
prices? Oh, God, no.
He just asked if we were out of curiosity, like the thermoform.
My wife might watch this.
Was interested.
Yeah, as
It was 3 or 4 years ago. The money is gone.
As I always say when I'm asked that question, I always say my wife has the internet too, so I'm not answering that question.
Yeah.
The problem is that didn't stop anybody a couple weeks ago with Jose's mask.
Yeah, fuck you guys. They totally sold me out like the whole time. They're like, "Oh, you bought another mask?" I'm like, shut up,
Oh, you didn't recognize what the pound symbol meant when you were ordering that from Great Britain?
Whatever. Hey, Chris, you better fucking tell me how much them bitches cost. I mean, I sacrificed
$150 each.
150.
They're about $150 for a 4x8 panel.
Not too bad.
And they've lasted this long, and they'll last forever.
I've never seen one. Are they foam backed or are they just?
No, they're just complete plastic.
So they
rigid
stack into each other?
Yeah, I kind of butt them against one another and just screw them into pieces of like the walls inside the garage.
So that's 4x8 then?
Yep, 4x8.
Man, I'd so buy them.
So could you mount them to plywood, I guess, if you wanted to?
Yeah, I mounted the plywood on that wall right there. It's just mounted to the studs in the inside of the garage. And on my other wall, it's just I hung a 2x4 on the ceiling.
Now you're really getting personal, Jose.
Yeah, what's your credit card number?
You know what, though? That's a great effect. I mean, you could spend a shitload of time just trying to accomplish that.
Okay, now we're looking at your spider room.
Oh, the spider.
Skeletons on the walls.
What that spider did? What's that spider? I recognize that. That's from.
That spider is from. Used to be Dead. Was it Dark Raven Designs?
Did you get that at Scarefest?
I got that at Scarefest. Yeah,
I remember those spiders are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. They're super durable.
Right.
So you can actually screw through the legs right into the wood, and they sit nice and still. So the spider victim itself is an old Spirit Halloween prop that I cut the sound to, and I cut the eyes so that the eyes didn't light up when it moved. All it would do was just move with sound. Sprayed it with adhesive and just wrapped it in the cheap spider webbing that you got from the dollar store. So, of course, on Halloween night, the one night that I want it to work, it stops working.
Of course.
As usual.
Well, that's what it does.
That's what the Halloween gods have in the cards.
Now, this is one of my favorites right here with the little pedestal drinking guy. The skeleton.
Yeah, the skeleton.
I can relate to that guy the most.
That's what you're going to be when the end happens, Jose.
Yeah.
We're just going to cross out and take a beer bottle in your hand, and we're good.
If there's one time that Margaret should take notes, it's now, and that movie.
Yeah. Future snapshot. Yeah, that guy, if I recall, was from a guy in California. The company name is DC Props. He makes amazing skeletons. Yeah. I know the mold that he's made. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the movie Army of Darkness. So those skeletons that are in there, if you look at the expression on his face, I don't know if you can see it in that picture, but they've got that angry furrowed brow, and it looks really cool. Yeah, it's really original.
That would be me.
And exactly. And he's drinking. You can't.
It's into a tea.
Yeah.
Chris,
I'd be like, I'm out.
Chris, I apologize if you mentioned this already, but Carly Eiler, I believe is how you pronounce that name, wants to know what company makes panels like that, the vacuform panels. Did you mention that?
Night Scream Studios.
Night Scream.
Now the ones that they make now aren't the ones that are in there. I think those ones that company didn't make on their own, so I don't even know if you can buy them anymore. The ones that Rodney makes now are a little bit different design. Yeah.
Now, Chris, now was that the same company that was at Transworld this year with all the thermoform panels?
Yes, it was the same company.
Oh.
Yeah.
They
But
had
I think
amazing
now,
ones.
he makes his own. Whereas before, when we bought them, I think he bought them from somewhere else. I think.
Okay, you know what? I think you're correct because I remember Angel telling us a little bit about that, and there was some things that have taken place. So now there's also another company, and I don't know if they're still making them. They were there last year, but not there this year. Called Trip 6, 666, and they were making thermoform panels too for the haunt industry, but I didn't see them again this year, so I'm not sure if they're
see them either.
still doing that or not.
I don't know.
Question for Chris from Chris Steffens. Can you give us an idea of the tips or tricks you use for lighting in your haunt?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this year, in the years past, I've kind of used the traditional floodlights. This year, I transitioned pretty much all to dark lights. So what I've kind of done, I did this year was take the dark light floods and flood the entire graveyard, and then I took some spotlights and just spotted the props that I wanted people to see. So.
Just a minor note for anyone who's looking, if doesn't know that company recently changed its name
to Gantum.
Gantum, right? So yeah, great lights.
And just so everybody knows, for Julie and Jamie, that I had to jump pictures to show what they were talking about. So
those ladies have got in trouble.
So here's this lighting right here. I'm showing it right now.
That picture is a little bit of Adobe photographer magic. If I had that backdrop in my front yard, I don't think I would probably go inside. I would probably stay outdoors all the time. It's just cool. So, when home haunts do this on a regular basis and community starts to hear about it and know about it, you start having people that come out of the woodwork to offer help. I have people that, around the corner that like to come and scare this past year. And I also have a guy I work with that lives around the corner from me that approached me a couple months before Halloween and said, listen, I want to practice night photography. Can I come and photograph your haunt? I said, absolutely. So he came and took some night pictures, and he said, you know what, I'll take a whole panoramic of your front yard and then do a quick little neat backdrop for you. So that's the end product of that.
Nice.
Jay Olson wants to know, Chris, did you make that big ass pumpkin?
Which big ass pumpkin?
I don't know. I'm just reading the questions, man.
No.
Don't make Jose have to open up another picture back.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You got 2 fucking seconds to roll.
I'm still 5 minutes behind. That one there.
Yeah.
The one
that big ass pumpkin, I think I bought from a store here in Canada, Amazing Party Store, and that was another a November 1st purchase where everything's half price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can never bring myself to do that, to go for the sale shopping on November 1st. I'm always just can't justify spending any more money at that point.
Oh, we got,
By this,
we
the past,
got this lighting.
Justified spending money at that point.
I know it's the best time to get deals, but I'm usually drained at that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then you know what, Brad? Brad, just wait for then like November 5th or so, and then you really can justify when the shit drops to 75 and 90. You just pick up the pieces.
That's right.
Except for Spirit, they're usually closed by then.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
other dreaded holiday that's out by then.
On to the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Well, we had
Jose
that
is
first
just like-
this year for it was like a little holiday in
Hey,
itself.
you don't know the girls are gonna kill me if I don't get through like a one show without showing all of them. Dude, I'm on the shit list. So, hey, let's start fucking talking right here.
No, we want to see you get whooped.
Can you see that picture, Chris?
Yeah, I think it's the black and white picture.
Yep.
Yeah,
That he did yeah, that one was an amazing picture that he did for me.
Yeah, really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, looked really cool.
So that's it? Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, there you go.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
scene right
that's
there.
excellent. Yeah.
Like, you see that, Chris? It's like a
Yeah.
zombie beside a table there. Yeah.
Yep, I think so.
Pretty table.
Nice scenic
So how'd you-
design there. I like that a lot.
How'd you
Thank you
distress
very
it? I mean, tell us a little something. Come on, man.
I'm trying to. Are you on the skeleton photo of the
No,
cemetery?
it's like a white-haired zombie in a suit standing beside a little
Oh, so you don't even see what I'm
a
posting.
table.
No.
No.
It's like a white like standing beside a little table with candles on it, and there's a lamp.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that table was a garage sale find. I took a page from Brad Goodspeed's thing, and
You know how I
kept-
garage sale and no one else
Yeah.
does that?
yeah. I kept an eye on some of the garage sales around here and picked that up for $10.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Beautiful.
The whole room is really cool, though. It's a really nice look.
Yeah, thank
Way
you.
it's got it, yeah.
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 That I'm gonna try this year and make all the walls inside the haunt this year. That's my goal. But
So
we'll
when-
see how that turns out.
Chris, when do you start? When do you start doing that?
I usually start, planning and stuff around Christmas time. The other dreaded, there's a picture, just popped up. And then once the kids are in school, usually around September 1st, that's where I start the real build.
So you start building in the garage in
Yeah, like September.
Yeah. You almost
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest,
Pops up
the
with me. It's not a problem.
and the graveyard doesn't take that much time at all because I've done that many times for the past 8 years. The garage is what takes the most amount of time because
that is what I've found. Yes.
that's my little showpiece. It takes time to set it up, then to paint it, then to distress it, then to put all the props where they need to go, and then the lighting and the sound, and it's my own little movie set, I guess you could say.
Just getting
I
that
think this year-
level of detail is so tough to do.
Yeah.
You need so much time unless you're someone who does this professionally and can just make it happen. It takes so much time to detail those sets.
Yeah.
For my haunt, we just ran out of time, and I can. That's a hard thing. So, I see what you mean. You have to almost start in September to be able to
This year's
get her
gonna be
done.
a crazy year. I think this year's we're gonna see a lot of amazing haunts and everybody really bringing it this year. I mean, I'm kind of excited because I'm doing something. Me and Jim were talking. He's doing something. So. And everybody else is bringing all the everything, so it's gonna be a good year this year, I think.
I will say though, it's one of those things that I had the pleasure. Jose came down and stayed at my house, to and from at Trans World, and it was pretty awesome to just walk around the front yard and point out things and go, "Hey, what about we could do this, and this?" And I looked at him like, "Man, motherfucker, why do you have to live all the way up in Michigan? You know what we can do right here?"
Just gonna have to move.
Like, damn. Then you see him pull off and leave, and I'm like, well, there went all the help.
Back to myself.
You know,
Speaking
it
of
almost
that, though,
needs to happen. You know, like all the haunters just converge on one neighborhood for 1 year, and
There you
screw
go.
y'all,
gosh,
we're
oh,
taking
yeah.
over your yards,
Yes.
we're taking over your yards, and we're doing your yards.
Hey, I would love nothing more than to do somebody else's hunt. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I've
Yes,
done that.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Now, Chris, real quick before we jump over to Cory, speaking of what we were talking about earlier, now, how close are you to Brad or like Ainsworth and stuff? Have you all had the opportunity to see each other's
Yep,
haunts?
I've had the opportunity. I came not this past year, the year before. I went to Brad's on November 1st, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you had it open just for this, was it for the CHA members?
It was lights on for whoever wanted to go.
Yeah. So I drove down from my house to his is about an hour and a half, I think.
Okay.
So we drove down, brought the kids through. The kids loved it, and Ainsworth is much closer. Ainsworth is about 45 minutes from my house, and
Okay.
yeah,
And he's real close to Colin Laughlin too, right?
very close.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I didn't realize
I
that.
unfortunately
Okay.
didn't get a chance
You
to
take
see
one
his haunt
trip to
this
see
year.
everybody. You suck.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah, no doubt.
One trip, hour and a half, you see everybody.
Yeah.
Just make the loop, the Canadian loop.
Yes.
Well, hey,
Let's not talk to him no more. We're moving on.
I know. I was saying, speaking of having opportunities to work on other people's haunts, you know, Cory, of course, we mentioned earlier, had a chance to work with and on other people's haunts last year. Is that to come this year as well? You gonna be doing the same thing?
Right now, I think so. We'll see. It's kind of undecided. There's a couple factors that I'm waiting on in my personal life that, like the haunts will always be there, but there are things that won't be. So, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. And the biggest thing for me is last year I had so much separation anxiety from my home haunt and from all the people that come.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just like, I didn't expect it, but it was just like, dude, I want to do my thing, and I couldn't do it. So it was really weird.
That leads to an interesting
people showing up, and you felt like, oh, I let them down.
I did. I had a lot of people coming out that don't, watch the vlogs. They just expected to be here, and they showed up, and I was like, "Where's it at?" And I was like, "Ugh." So it kind of sucked.
Man.
Yeah. So that was the worst part.
Really
About the whole thing.
tough.
Well, Pandora Rose wanted to know, Cory, that's maybe one of them, but can you describe the sort of the key differences between doing the home haunt and running a commercial hunt?
With a home haunt, there's just so much flexibility because you can do whatever you want. You know who's going to come. You know the people are coming because they know your reputation. They love you. They're going to appreciate it. Where in a pro environment, there's so many rules that you have to follow with the building you're at, and fire codes and just all kinds of other things, security rules and security, and there's just so many aspects to a pro haunt that just eat up all your energy that some nights you just don't get to enjoy it. You don't get to enjoy watching your actors work. You don't get to enjoy watching the people come out of the haunt and see what a good time they had. Sometimes you're busy dealing. We had bands every night, so sometimes I'd have to deal with the bands, which is cool. And they're so loud. And then you got people complaining about the bands. Oh, the band's too loud. We can't even talk to each other. And then of course you have to deal with health emergencies. We had quite a few health scares where we had to have ambulances come out because people passed out or fainted or whatever. So it's just there's a lot of managerial aspects where it's like you don't get to enjoy the actual haunt. You're just being like a business owner and protecting the business and running the business. So where at home you're just mingling with everybody that's outside. You're letting your actors do their thing. So there's two different things. Of course, then you got the punks that want to fight you because they punched one of your actors and then you kick them out of the haunt and they're like, oh, I want my money back. I'm like, no, you're a dickhead. I'm not giving you your money back. So there's all kinds of to deal with.
A follow-up question from Bruce Janzer, like what part of the home haunter kind of state of mind helps you as a pro haunter? Like,
So I've been in hospitality management. I've worked in hotels for 18 years. So my patience and my hospitality and customer services was really key with keeping everybody happy at the pro haunt. As far as everything else, my set design, that I love doing set design. I love doing lighting. So I really try to put a lot of that aspect into the pro haunt and put that in there. That was kind of my main contribution to the haunt that we were there, was a lot of the lighting things and the set elements. Those were all good things, but there's just so many things that you have to deal with unexpectedly and kind of on the spot. It was kind of like, all right, hey, here's your haunt, now go run it. And it was like, oh, all right, so let's go do this thing. Let's just make it up as we go along. So that's really what it was. It was just on-the-job training. Luckily, early October, you get to learn things the first weekend. Things you're doing wrong. Line speed. The lines was the worst thing, because you got to keep the lines moving because people start to get frustrated, but you don't want to move them too fast because then groups start running into each other and then they're not enjoying the experience. They're not getting all the scares because they're knowing what's coming. So line management is probably the biggest key thing that you have to really manage in order to, because they're paying lots of money. They're paying between $25 and $45 for a ticket to see 2 haunts. And they want their money's worth. So if you're ruining it by having scares too close, and you're running into other groups,
we ran into a
Exactly.
couple ranks too hot.
You know what?
What are you doing there? You should have been in front of us.
What would be interesting, Cory, is the time, in year that maybe you're not necessarily associated with that pro, and you're able to bump it back up at home, and now the perspective that you have even at home. That's where it's going to get really interesting, is everything that you've taken from there.
Bring
And the
some of
things
that
you just
pro
talked
home.
about.
Yep.
Yeah, I've already got 2 plans in mind for this year. I got the pro that I can do. The opportunity is there. They've already told me, look, we want you back mainly because we don't want you to become our competitor, and that's really the main reason. You did such a good job running this haunt. We don't want you to go start your own and you're all of a sudden one of our competitors, because we don't want to have to deal with that. So I've got that in mind, and then I'm also planning my home haunt in my mind just in case. So I've got lots of things going on. So
Well, that's good, Cory. That means that they could convince you with more money.
That's right.
I know exactly.
Yeah. He's got my tombstone.
Those are just a couple quick ones I did. I started using old solder irons just to do all my carving for the letters and everything, and I found out that it works really well. Just wear a mask because it's toxic, but it worked great for me. It was fast, and that's the blue party bulb light effect. It just gives a great glow to any scenic element.
For the charity, right?
I did. So that year, my one of my best friends passed away from lymphoma cancer, and it was in September that he passed away. So it was kind of a last minute thing. I said, I want to, let's try to raise some money for this cancer, and so my whole haunt is free at home. No matter what money I put in, I don't ask for donations. But we did this year. This was the first time, and everything we made just went to the Lymphoma Society for Cancer Research. So it was cool. All the T-shirt sales, I made T-shirt sales. That money went towards there as well. It was only like $500, but still, it was something. So it felt good to be able to give back to that, that cause. So
that's great.
You're looking at that is so. This is part of Fear Overload. This is one of the the boiler room kind of things. We did 2 haunts. We did the Zodiac, which was a flashlight tour, a dimmed flashlight tour. Only one black light in that room, and everything else was dark. And this was your psychotic episode, and that was a rundown carnival, basically. So this is the boiler room as you go through like the tunnel of love, and then you enter the back areas of the carnival. And this was just a cool, one of the cooler rooms in that area. We had so many scare spots from up top. We had scare spots from under. People could pop out where that burned body is coming out of that boiler. It was just a really cool room that you could do a lot of scares out of. Okay, so this was a last minute thing. I was starting to feel the pressure of my home haunt, and I was like, God, I want to do something for the kids. I don't want to just put up my graveyard and leave it at that. So
that turned out great.
at,
That
at
turned out
the so at the last second, I just decided, you know what? I'll just make a little cave so the kids could come through a nice little cave, trick or treat through there. You know, they'll go up to the door, and I actually got help from Chris and Gina, Hollywood Haunters, on this one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I texted them like at the last minute. I'm like, hey, I just want to do a quick cave. What is the fastest way to do it? They threw out some ideas, and this is actually a roll of packaging paper, just the brown packaging paper.
Oh.
And I did a little how-to. I just crumbled it all up, basically made a frame out of 1x2s and stapled it all in. Did some nice little paint effects with with different colors, paint and spray bottles, and the lighting really finished it off. But it was just cool. It took me literally 3 hours to do, so it was just like I need to do something else.
They probably absolutely loved it too.
They did. Actually, I mean, my wife was here, and she was actually like, "Don't do that again," because we had probably 30 kids that were too scared to go through it. So I was like, oh, well, all right.
In case you guys didn't know, Cory does he does a lot of lighting stuff, and if you ever followed him on YouTube, I don't know if you have, but like I said, it's on the intro, and everybody's stuff is. But he does like an in-depth stuff on different types of lighting and stuff, and he's really good at it. So if you ever want to see that, just go look at his YouTube channel.
Yeah, lighting's a big element in my haunt. I'm a theater guy, and I just love working with lighting and doing that kind of stuff. This is more fear overload. Just one of my actors on the left, and then a bathroom scene on the right, which actually was a very cool room. It was probably the coolest room of maybe any haunt, and that's not being biased that I've ever been in. But as you're going through the psychotic episode, you enter the bathroom area of the carnival, and in this room there are basically bathroom stalls. There are 8 bathroom stalls with a single light in the middle, and basically to find your way out, you have to open the bathroom stalls to figure out which way is the way out. So it was really cool because
cool.
Nobody ever got it on their first time. And you don't know if there's going to be a prop in there, if there's going to be an actor in there. So everybody just kept going straight, and they're like, where the hell do we go? And then my actors would have to yell at them from behind the doors, and they're like, we're not opening the fucking doors, no way.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. It was really nice. But on Halloween, the line was so long that we just had to prop the door open because we just had people stopped in there that couldn't move because they were too scared to open the doors, and they were like, no, so they just stopped and wouldn't move. But it was really cool because it was 8 bathroom stalls. So like if you go to Disneyland or whatever, there's just stalls. And people didn't want to open the doors. You have to open the doors to figure out which one goes to the next room. So it was really cool. That was really fun.
If anybody knows me, I'm fucking stealing that shit, bro.
Hey man, dude, that room was badass.
Something I don't know. But
See, and I casted a girl. She was 17, and this girl Elizabeth, she was so good. She was about 5'1", about 95 pounds. And she could crawl underneath the stalls from stall to stall with no problem. So she would they'd be like, how the hell did you get there? And she was so fast. She'd pop in, she'd jump up at him, pop down in another room, go to another stall. She was so good in that room. It just worked out really well. We got here 2 more actors. So I just want to show off some of the makeup effects. We got Antonio, whose nickname is Iron, Joyce. They did great jobs on these makeup effects right here, and that's actually my son on the left, the clown. That's kind of the American Horror Story kind of mouth. We kind of tried to emulate it. It just looked really cool. But yeah, so that's just more makeup. We use prosthetics on probably 90% of the actors in there. So it was really good work. Another actress, she was our Tunnel of Love actress. She loved doing her own makeup. She did all her own makeup, actually. She was great. She actually moved. She lives out in Maryland now, so maybe one of you guys, if you guys got a haunt in Maryland, I can give you your info. You can get an actress.
There you go.
Yep.
Now, Cory, what did your daughter feel about all this? I mean, you've still got a young daughter and now all of a sudden, you're being pulled away last season with the pro
Watch the vlogs, man. Watch the vlogs. She's right there with the paintbrush.
Yeah, Brooklyn was scared of fear overload. She, I took her through it with the lights on, and she was fine. But she didn't want to go through that one with all the actors because it was unfamiliar. With Columbia Manor, she's helped me build it from the time it was just a front yard haunt to just a yard display to the time that we became a full maze walkthrough through the backyard. So she, if you guys most of you have watched, but she helps me build. She does paint. I let her do splatter. I taught her all those things. She's 7 now, and she loves building it. She loves everything about it. And so, but this one, Fear Overload, she didn't like it. It was just unfamiliar, so she didn't really care for it too much.
So I know you just showed us the tunnel area that you built for the front yard, but was she sitting there tugging on you left and right, going, "Hey, what are we doing at the house? Come on now."
Yeah, she does. She got on the when I was setting up the cemetery, she's in there, and I let her do half the work. I let her pound in my little stakes for all the tombstones. She got to pick where she wanted to set all the tombstones up. So she had a lot of part in doing the little cemetery scene this year. So she missed it. She missed it.
This is a serious hunter.
Oh, see, that's not hard.
The actual hunt logo on your leg. That's serious hunting.
So yeah, the Columbia Manor Vampire School kind of became known pretty fast. And I mean, it just everybody's like, "Oh, dude," they recognized the skull and they just knew what haunt it was from. And for the last couple of years, people have been like, "Hey, well, you should get a tattoo. You should get that tattooed." And I finally gave in, and I was just gonna get the skull, and then at the last second, I asked my tattoo artist, I said, "Hey, can you make it look like it's like ripping out of my skin?" She was like, "Sure." She went and drew it up. Took her 5 minutes. She came back. I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "You totally got to do that."
You just did that.
Nice.
I was like, you just did that like last month, wasn't it?
It's about a month old, yeah. And I get people that come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, that's the most amazing tattoo." So, but yeah, it's just really cool. It's really cool. I was happy to get it. So. Yep, cool. Hunter for life, right? Right, Jose? Hunter for life.
Damn straight.
Hunter for life.
Hunter for life. We're gonna move on to Pat, and let's get this started. We're running a little over that 2-hour marker, but I mean,
no, we're not. We started like a half hour late.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a half hour to go. Hold up, baby.
All right. Well, first off, gotta plug these guys in.
Are you gonna blow something up for us?
Yay!
Right?
Damn.
Oh, you can see those guys. There she is. Oh, cool. So this is Craven and Crania. They aren't talking right now. I think when last year I might have burned a trace out when I was soldering, but they have this kind of love-hate. They have this love-hate relationship. She loves him, but he's kind of always thinking about his stomach, so he kind of ate her body. So,
so cool.
He gave her kind of the thing is, I gave you my heart, yeah, but then you took my liver. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. And those are the girls. Those are my girls right there. So there's 3 of them. They're the Weirding sisters. The one on the left is Agatha. She's the first one I built. The one with the green hair is Gretchen, and then the one behind is Brunswick. And Brunswick flies around. So.
Oh, is that Brunswick the one that flies all the way up?
Yeah, she's the one that flies all up and side to side and that.
Sorry,
so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Yeah.
The witches are awesome.
Yeah, I love my witches. They're definitely a hit. So.
Yeah,
and this year they actually work for the most part. So that's always good.
This is the perfect reason to go back and watch some of Pat's videos, especially with the witch that's flying, and you'll understand. You'd also understand why he probably has several holes in the ceiling of his garage once you watch that video too.
Yeah, well, only one. Only one.
Only one. Well, then you're doing good.
Hey, that's why it's important to go back and look at their YouTube channels. That's why it's important.
Yeah,
you guys will get like a small understanding of what we did back in the day.
Yeah. So that's Craven and Crania. I built them to be kind of some queue-line entertainment. The first year I did a garage walkthrough, we had a 40-minute lineup to get into it. which was crazy. I mean, we were trying to get them through as quickly as we could, but they just kept stacking up. So I figured I'd build something to kind of keep them all entertained. And but then we didn't have the lineup this year. They just kind of all went through in groups. So, you know, but it was a good year. Definitely a good year.
Question from Chandra, Pat, where do you get the skull finials?
Dollarama. We have a place called Dollarama up here, and yeah, $1 for 8. And I always buy a couple of 2 or 3 bags a year because kids come through, they'll pop them off as they're walking through, taking souvenirs and stuff. So so you always got to have extras to replace. So
let me just take this.
yeah.
What are we looking at here?
So that's just a buddy of mine makes wooden books. He's a finishing carpenter, and he likes to do like craft carpentry. So he has books. So those are wooden books that I just painted up, and I needed a way to kind of get this jaw up and off the box itself. So I figured sitting them up on books would kind of look okay. So. Because it's all about the look, right? You want it to look well.
Now, what
everything
for your skull, Pat? For your skull, what mechanism are you using? Was that a full kit, or did you add to it?
No, this is I'm not sure if anyone knows Hallstaff and Haunt Hacker out on Haunt Forum, but Hallstaff has built these little all-in-one 3-axis skull with a jaw servo, and basically all you have to do is obviously solder the whole thing together, and then just add a couple of components and download a program, and away it goes. So that's basically what those are. And cheap, like this type of stuff to get into is usually several $100s. These boards, you can put them together for like $15-20.
Right.
So
are you guys still doing the Tech Wednesdays?
We have it's called Haunt Tech, and we do it on Wednesdays. If anybody wants to get in on that, let me know. Just message me. I'll give you guys a link and come on. And we talk about all tech stuff. No question is too stupid. I had stupid questions when I began this as well, and so everybody on there is always willing to help. And that picture right there, everybody wants a snow picture because snow looks so good on props. Yeah, you like that? Are you okay with that? Does that look good? You think snow looks good on props? Fuck.
Matt, I got a question for you. Did you make all that snow out of the white foam or the pink foam? That looks fantastic, brother.
That's haunting, and
it looks very realistic.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. I want to start with the pink because I want it to be as authentic as possible. So I break it all up and paint each speck individually. So.
Nice. I think I'd like to see one of our southern haunters or like Gina, somebody over in California, make a whole snow hunt for all of our
But if you guys, if anybody's interested in doing anything technical or anything, I mean, I was privileged to be on a couple other tech chats, and I kind of interrupted it because I'm like the silly drunk kind of person. So they're like, they're just kind of like talking tech, sir, and they just wasn't getting it, and I guess I wasn't getting it.
I think no one's on that with you.
But they do on Wednesday night get a hold of Pat, and they do some pretty extensive tech night stuff that's, it's very, they know what they're doing over there, and they're doing it on the cheap too. So
yeah, that's the thing, is that if I had to buy all this stuff, from suppliers, I probably wouldn't be into this because a prop like this, just for the servos alone, would be several $100s. I get all my stuff from China, where it's $4 a servo, right?
Yeah, and that's why it's not working right now, Pat.
Yeah, well, no, that's something else. That was me. That was me burning out.
But here's the key, though. Here's the key. He can fix it.
That's right, and fix it
There you
really,
go.
really cheap too.
Yeah.
Yes.
He can fix it because he was on Tech Night.
That's
Motherfucker.
right.
Exactly. There's some guys over there with some big brains. I don't have one of them. I've got kind of a smaller brain, but there's some
Yeah,
guys
there's some
over there.
great- there's
So,
some absolutely
get
great
a
guys
hold
on
of Pat, and they'll hook you up with the Tech Night if you want to have a talking skull or moving whatever you want.
Yeah, and just if anyone's interested, by all means, dive in. Don't be afraid. I didn't have a clue how to do any of this stuff 8 years ago, and here I am, building this type of stuff. So if anybody can learn it, if I can learn it, anybody can learn it, because I'm really not that bright.
No, that's awesome, Pat.
But you can solder, and that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tenacious. I think that was a big part of it. So.
And you know what? And that is coming from the servo queen herself over there, Kristy.
Yo, yeah, you bet.
Hey, we're still waiting for something to work.
I'm working on that this year. We were talking about it today. So we've got some ideas, and I think Leota,
I'm going to try and get my Leota prop done.
You're.
Yeah.
What is this, Kimosabi?
What century?
Okay, we're gonna move on to Razzano's and let's get the. I told you if I don't get these pictures done, my shit's like in trouble.
I so love this. I love that they got you on the chain, man. This is great.
Hey,
It's about time somebody's got you whipped.
I'm a dead man if I don't get all these pictures done. There you go.
I'm gonna make sure they have plenty of time to talk to Margaret at MHC while you're occupied. Well, Jeff,
There
Julie.
she is.
Oh, yeah.
That was our clown for the clown room.
That thing's wicked.
It is wicked, and it's just
That is.
we got that on a last minute thing. We were like, oh, we need something, at Spirit and whatever, like lighting. And we saw it, and it was like really cool. It was foam filled over, really snug. That one, they had news crew came down this year and did an interview. They stayed the entire day. It was from 4 a.m. until like 12 noon, 1 o'clock, and they kept just doing like half-hour interviews. Kristy and Steve were also on the same channel too, but he came through and he did a bunch of pictures for us, which was really nice, and then sent them to us afterwards. He's got like the $5,000 camera or $10,000. No, thing is amazing. Like, you got to leave that here by accident.
That's awesome because like the girl that came and did our news show, I was like, hey, can I get a copy of that? And she's like, no.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Bokey.
Yeah.
Yeah. That other thing they showed was that was a prop that we hung up in the bug room. It's just like a great stuff body form.
I'll go do it.
Body up and then pull noodles for legs, and I put it in a jumpsuit, and then I just strung it up. I wired it up to the ceiling and then webbed it. So that was our skeleton spider back there, skull spider. And he was hanging around over the top of it. And then we had the hive, that's over there. We had that going with bug sounds in it, and had the fishing line hanging, and we walked through it until they got webbed. Like a bug mutation lab we did a theme for last year. It was just in that one room. It was crazy. People were screaming in there. But,
Julie, sorry I was laughing. You were getting totally upstaged for a minute there by by Brooklyn. That was awesome. I'm so glad you popped in.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
now
our,
we got the bank.
yep, that's a facade in the front. Yep, did that one. Drove me crazy. He's like, I'm going to build a whole western facade in the front of the house. I'm like, what? All this crap. It's like, and then here's like, wait, I got to say, because this is the funniest part ever, all right? We live in a really kind of tight-knit, it's a big community, but it's tight-knit, and people are always walking. So we usually get out there and start, the front facade, what was it, beginning of August, I think we started.
Yeah, we
I mean, because
started
we got to get it out there. There's so much stuff that we've got to do every year when we change. So anyway, normally beginning of August we're out there, and people are walking by, and they're like, "Go behind us, aren't you?" And we're like, "Yeah." So and I've been yelling at him. I'm like, "You know how far behind we are? If you're gonna do this whole facade, it's crazy. There's no way it's gonna happen." Now, people walking down the street are saying, "You guys are all behind." People are pulling up in cars, and they're like, "You guys are behind us here, aren't you?" I'm like, ask him.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, though, even with the fact that you got a Western theme that happened last year, I see a lot of that. You could really adapt that into the medieval aspect of it. Even that facade and the cave and the whole 9 yards really will play well with it.
Yeah, that's what I said, but no, he wants to do this whole castle in the house thing.
I don't know where this fits into Western, but it's awesome looking.
By this year, I'll probably be in the
Texas Chainsaw.
You gotta think big. See, the whole idea is with the facades and stuff like that, and especially in our community, you get a lot of, like she said, traffic. So it's to draw the attention to the haunt.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we do what we do in the beginning, because it really draws attention. Then by the time you know it, everybody's buzzing about it. Facebook posts, pictures. I think the best part was when I saw quite a few people with their iPhones, like aiming at the sky. I'm like, what are they looking at? I'm like, oh, I know what they're doing. Like, look at the noose. Where do you see a noose in a city like that?
Yeah, we had a noose hanging up in front of the house. He goes, let's hang something, and I'm like, probably not a good idea right now.
I wanted to put a kicker. I wanted a kicker on there, but it's probably not a good idea. I think
no.
Definitely.
So I'm taking this as your slaughterhouse here.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah, that's the butcher shop.
Yep.
Is that a mask? I mean, or a prosthetic?
Mask. I don't know who got that yet.
See, the thing is when you have 30+ volunteers, it's hard to put makeup on everybody.
And I do the makeup, so I'll put my makeup on at 8 o'clock in the morning if I have to have makeup on. So I'm running around doing everybody else's stuff, and then my girlfriend Sherry's just started doing it too. So it helps, but when you have everybody, like one year we did it, not last year, but the year before, we did everybody in makeup.
Yeah.
Took forever. You brush, you got to paint it, you got to adhere it. It's like.
Where'd you get that mask from, though? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that one before.
I don't know.
I can't recall. That one's probably about 5 years old. That mask. I think I might have bought that. I think that I bought that online. Might have been like eBay or something like that. It was a new mask. It was nice.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move over to SK, and I got you know what? I got 5 pictures left, and I'm picture free.
The job is done.
It's almost Miller time, brother.
All right, what we got?
Chapow! There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Well, a question while you're moving on to SK. Before I had a question from God's Flesh. Where do you store that facade that you got behind you there?
You can tell God's Flesh that is none of his business. He can steal it.
Right.
Actually, I think it looks pretty good in your house. It should just stay there.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it either.
Actually, it would probably look even better in my house, but.
Well. The great thing about that facade is it comes all apart. I mean, it's all in panels that are no wider than 3 foot, and some of you probably saw the videos of how we throw it together. It goes together in like 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
And it all gets stored on that porch right there.
You know what, SK? I'm thinking that might look really good in MHC in our booth. That might be a really easy thing to do. You can whip that up in, 20 minutes, you said? No problem.
I'll tell you what, Jamal. You fly up here to Albany, I'll pick you up from the airport, and you can drive the U-Haul all the way to MHC. And then I'll put it up in the Hunter's Hangout booth.
And then you can bring it down and drive it back.
Right.
Oh, it may not come back. It'll still keep going south.
Don't work away from the pictures, man.
I'm gonna so work away from the pictures.
Whatever. I'm gonna mute you.
What happened? Somebody stole my cauldron creep. This must have been before we had everything out, like the day before. This is just our cemetery scene. We just throw this up every year. It's the same scene every year. Nothing ever changes except for placement of the tombstones.
Ah, the girls.
The girls.
Oh, the girls. Oh, the other type of girls. Never mind.
Stay focused, man. Stay focused.
Yeah, we had Kristy's twins out for the world to see.
Right?
The Wonder Twins.
Dude, I think those girls, I mean, those were kind of iconic. I mean, it put like Kristy on the map. Looking, I mean, those things were phenomenal.
They did.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
I remember all the work
a lot of
did
blood,
on
sweat,
the
and tears on the floor.
There's our infamous lighted sign that I made on. That's one video that I made. How to make a lighted sign for your haunt. So hey, make one.
I think that was one of your first videos that really kind of put you on the map.
No, the 2009 home haunt put me on the map.
I'm talking with blogging, honey.
Hey, Kristy, I got a question.
Sure.
Where is your tree? Is that in Arizona or is that out there with you?
No, it's with me. I have to. I'm not happy with the motor on it, even though the vent motor worked really well and I had a good counterweight on it. I found a pellet stove motor that has slow enough RPMs and enough torque that I won't have to worry about having a counterweight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to replace the motor on there with the pellet stove motor so that eliminates any problems with the arms going up and down. So if I want to add any weight to the arms, pellet stove motor will be like, no biggie.
Nice. Yeah, if
So
you guys haven't
it's a
seen
little
this
bit
tree
updated.
sheet, it's awesome.
That thing, oh my gosh, that's the third iteration on that thing.
Wow.
It was fun though. I enjoyed making it. I need to get back into my prop building now that I'm all done and settled.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
I know everybody's like, when are you going to finish Leota? Yeah.
Yeah, Leota.
I keep getting heat for her.
Yeah.
And Kristy's also a phenomenal seamstress. I mean, she's made some fantastic costumes and.
I didn't make this. I did not make this. This was from Dark Spectre, I think it is. I don't think you can see it very well.
We're trying to check out your lower third.
Excuse me.
But
It's,
Kristy also,
dark-
you know, we had the haunt socks earlier too that we were going to be giving away, and that is something Kristy has made herself as well. So I know that's been spread throughout the community, and that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try and make. I'm about halfway done because I have to get through my other pile of good stuff. But what is it? Santa hats. Still working on that. Haven't forgot about it, Julie. And
that's lighting right there.
no, isn't that
That's what I'm
fun?
saying. Doesn't forgot either, Julie, that he's got more pictures.
Yeah.
That is
That's beautiful.
That's also dark light.
Yep.
Is that?
We picked up our dark light stuff at Midwest last year.
Oh wow,
But
gorgeous.
we're going to supplement that with a huge selection of the Spirit Halloween LEDs, because unlike people who don't want to go shopping on the day after Halloween, we hit every Spirit store from Albany to Plattsburgh. And we bought every LED light that they had, and one of the stores even sold all of their display lighting.
Yep.
Wow.
Like these, right?
Like what? Yeah.
These? Yeah, I got these for $10.
Wait, let me see. Is it the double
These
pack?
were they're the 3-pack Spirit Halloween ones, and
oh
like
wow.
I just grabbed them off the display and I bought 2 sets of these for $10
Nice.
each. So
Oh,
they're all
wow. You got a
blue,
better
which is my
price.
color. So yeah, but yeah,
Well-
these are the ones we're talking about.
We got. Hold on. We
We've
paid
got-
$80. We've got
Pardon me.
3 sets of 3, a set of 4, and a set of 6.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
$80.
Awesome.
Holy crow.
Spirit, if somebody from Spirit is watching this, they should totally sell those to the public because let me tell you, those LED, that's awesome. And the fact that they're all connected, even better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, we've been through everything, and we're gonna go right to the prizes.
Right. Just quickly before we do the prizes, I have a couple of just very quick
Okay,
questions
couple
that
questions.
have been hanging on. First, a comment, and then a question from Alan Hops. Just wanted Diablo to know that the Butcher Mask was from, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Zagone Studios.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they donated a prop, and we gave one of those away at Transworld from them.
Right. And then the question was wondering if Pat prefers a certain kind of servo controller.
Yeah, Pickaxe is pretty well the one I use. I use Pickaxe, which are microcontrollers, and through some of the code writing that that Hall staff and others have developed out there, easy to work with. Pickaxe is hands down one of the easiest things to work with. These they're super powerful little microcontrollers, but they were designed for school kids. So really simple to learn, real simple coding.
I'm right
if
there,
it-
brother. I'm right there. It's for
Exactly. Exactly. Nobody told me there'd be math, so so I need these things, plumb stupid for me to make them work. And this stuff it's great. It's super powerful. Just to show you, this is what my Haunt controller is. This controls the majority of my props.
Wow. Oh, I remember that.
In the front yard, and let me just show you what exactly it is that's controlling it. Is that?
Wow.
Oh, all of that's being fed into that.
Yeah.
Hey, all that's from Technite.
So this guy here, this is it's a project board, and with it, this project board and the chip in there is about $12.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah. So that's the thing about this. When I say I'm frugal, I actually mean that I'm cheap. And
Aren't we all?
What hunter isn't?
yeah, exactly. And
You should have
so
totally brought that up earlier in the night.
Right.
We could have dissected
You know
that
what-
thing to
you know what really is
three.
like the most awesome thing is that these cheap ass tech people will actually sell it already built cheap. so
Exactly.
I'm like,
you got guys like Teeth Straub and Scuba Scoop that are selling.
Yeah.
What bothers me about when guys like Pat talk about how cheap and how easy it is that it makes me feel even poorer and stupider that I know I'm not going to be able to do it anyways. Like, I have no excuse. I have no excuse.
I'm right there with you, Brad.
I have to admit I'm an idiot. But okay, another
Oh,
question.
it's simple.
Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
No. It's simple stuff. Simple stuff to get into. It really is.
Okay, just a couple of real quick questions here. Highbury Cemetery had a question for Chris Arnott. How much of your display do you change out each year?
I generally not much, to be perfectly honest with you. The graveyard, I kind of mix and match where the zombies are going to be. The past couple years, I've taken that coffin that I made, and one year I had two skeletons holding it up. Last year I had one holding it up. It's just a matter of placement. I don't really swap out a lot of props, I don't find.
Okay.
That
And then
answers the question.
one final question, and I think I'd like to pose this to everyone. It's from John Biedzinski. I apologize for butchering your name. How many of you guys are going to MHC this year?
We are, as long as my car doesn't get hit.
That probably goes for everyone.
Like that on my car right now.
That'll spoil anything.
It's been totaled out in 2 insurance companies. So I'm running
No.
insurance companies.
In 1 week.
In 2 weeks.
No,
I
within a week.
had it back 2 days and somebody hit me again.
Oh.
Anyway.
There you go.
I know we're going. Me, Jim, and Brad are going.
Yep.
We'll be there.
I'll be there.
Chris,
Chris, are you
be
making the
there?
trip down?
No, unfortunately, I have to work and I can't get the time off, so I won't be able to.
I'm waiting for Cory to come down and visit us.
You know what? I think next year. Next year, I think for sure. I'll hit you guys up at MHC or Trans World. I'm a California kid. I do West Coast Hunters Convention, so hang out with Zach and Jeremy. Those are my good friends.
Yeah.
So next year I'll try to get them.
Yeah, we hung out with them too last weekend.
They have much more freedom.
You gotta come down. You gotta come down, brother, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We're gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be out of control when I do. So just
Hey,
ready.
I'm waiting.
All right.
It already is out of control. You just add to it.
I know.
Time for the winners. The winners of the prizes for tonight's show.
Okay.
Sent to me by Julie Rydell. Thank you, Julie. So the winner of the Haunting Grounds package, which includes what?
Haunt sex.
Haunt
sex socks.
That's Diablo 85.
All right. The winner of that package is Kathy LeBeau.
Well done, Kathy.
We'll have to get your particulars.
And the winner of the Hauntopolis magazine subscription, which is an awesome magazine.
It's an awesome magazine.
It's awesome. And the winner is Chris Steffens. Congratulations, Chris.
Well done.
Is it weird that I thought you said haunt topless?
Yeah, that comment came up earlier. Hauntopolis.
We have haunt sex and
Topless.
Hey, there's a new theme for somebody.
We got haunt topless and sex socks.
What a great theme for a haunt. Topless haunts.
Oh.
We gotta try that.
Are
And
you starting that, Brad?
And then finally, the winner of the Froggy's Fog for this week is Chris Ainsworth. So congratulations. Thanks, Julie, for picking the winners, and congratulations to everybody.
Arnott, you should totally steal that
I should. First ask all the
All right,
questions.
hey, we want to thank everybody for coming out, and we're glad that everybody struggled in the beginning where we tried to struggle to get it going, and we're like, Google Plus is doing something crazy now.
I'm still struggling. I still can't see you guys.
Google Plus is doing something crazy.
That's right.
We're trying to work through it, and
make the newbie learn the hard
hope
way.
you guys enjoyed everybody and all the guests. We want to thank them for coming out. And like I said, if you want to know all the YouTube channels and everything, just go back to the intro. I'm going to take them and put them on this video if you want to go there for it too. And we just want to thank everybody for coming out, and great job, guys. And hey, we'll see you next week. We got 2 shows. We got the Trans World. If you want to know anything about MHC, this is where you're going to find out, because the owners are going to be there and they want you to drill them. I know they're going to be scared, but we're going to do it. And then we have our regular show on Thursday. So hope to see you guys next week.
Hey, Jose, really fast. Jose.
What?
You got one more picture of mine in there? My buddy holding something, or no?
Oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
He thought he was done, man.
Wait. You're saying that, you know what? I'm going to totally go back, because if I skipped one, I'm in the shit's creek. Hold up.
So there was one I wanted to show, because I'm really big on Instagram. I post a lot of my pictures on Instagram, so you guys can find me there, Toy Hunter on Instagram. But I started a hashtag called ShitHuntersFind. So hashtag ShitHuntersFind, and Troy from Halloween Hellmouth followed along. That one. So this is from Fear Overload, right? And usually in haunts you find wigs, you find weaves, you find props, you find wallets. One night we literally scared a titty off somebody.
Nice.
One of my actresses found this in her room. She said, "Cory, what is this?" And we picked it up, and it was a titty.
Cory, you're my hero now.
It was a Friday night, so some poor girl went home with her man with one smaller titty when they got to the bedroom. So yeah, some guy was devastated about the titty situation, but yeah, we scared the titty off somebody. So
That's actually like a prosthetic for someone that had breast cancer.
It is a
You should
rubber.
give it back to her.
It's a chicken thing, man. But yeah, if anybody has pictures, go post them and let's start the hashtag #ShitHauntersFind and let's share what we all scare off of people.
Nice. You know what, Cory? I'll add to that after MHC when I find all the people that are passed out all over the place.
Shithunters find. That's perfect.
Well, I'm
You have,
glad,
like, 8 pictures of
we
Jose.
had one episode of the show that was very much breast themed.
Yes,
Brad,
SK
you got him right over your ear. I'm looking at 2 titties every time I see you, Brad.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here, and we appreciate everybody for watching. Thanks for all the guests for coming on, and I hope you stay tuned for next week. We got double shows, like I said, and that's it. We're out of here.
Sweet. Hanging with your fangs out.
Later, guys.
Right.